Hey, what's good, people? Welcome to Homeworld Deserts of Karak. Um, Today we're going to be casting Jaraci Cup 18 group stage match between RenderedSpy and Voidwarrior. Um, just going to hop into the replay screen right now. So, looking at the info.txt, it looks like RenderedSpy is going to pick Coalition for both games. Voidwarrior is going to pick Khaaneph. Um, Map 1 is going to be Tauren Crater, and Map 2 is going to be Firebase Krill. Alright, so let's load up Game 1. Both of these players are really competent, so it's going to be good to see what they get up to when they face each other on the field. Alright, looks like we've got a 3-1 split from RenderedSpy, building salvagers. No sign of a base runner retire yet. Might be keeping that turret. Voidwarrior getting aggressive with this production cruiser already, going for early sand skimmer fabrication. What's he doing for mining right now? Oh, for salvagers on CUs from the get-go? Yeah, salvager mining RUs. He's going aggro. RenderedSpy, I think, might spot this production cruiser. Oh, just narrowly misses it. Doesn't even get the sensor ping. For skimmers hitting the field for Voidwarrior. No tech from RenderedSpy yet. Threw out a probe, retired the base runner, building a support cruiser, so eco opener from him. This probe doesn't find the production cruiser, so gotta double back and look for it. No tech yet from Voidwarrior. Just building up a shitload of sand skimmers. RenderedSpy's building LAVs, which he's gonna desperately need in like a second. Sees the first skimmers hitting the field. This salvager is running for its life, but I have the feeling it's not long for this world. Voidwarrior not gonna see it. First desperation LAVs hitting the field for RenderedSpy. Powered up carrier. Actually gonna do a good job of warding these off. And going AAVs to counter these sand skimmers. What's Void doing? About to start long hauling from this first trek bulkhead. No sign of tech yet. What are we going for production? Alright, Void building a second production cruiser. Usually what he does with this is he keeps that at the base and starts mining with it, rather than kind of sending it up to the front line to join the rush. Void's an interesting player to watch because most Galaxy and Khaaneph players, they either commit to the rush or commit to eco. Void's kind of walking the middle road, and I think if he gets better at that, it'd be cool to see that style work at a higher level. Void Warrior going for assault ships. It's kind of cool from him. Normally he's a rail player. He's gonna do well against these LAVs and AAVs. No carrier production upgrade from RenderedSpy yet, so he's going to be struggling to keep up with Void's production here. First AAV going to try to ward off these LAVs. And that'll work for a while, but you get enough sand skimmers on the field, they can kill AAVs, so... Both players bank at a lot of RUs, so we're gonna see what they go for tech. They do have a lot of options. Void Warrior going for interceptors. Oh. Yeah, Tauren Crater's a great air map. No refinery mode yet, though. He does need that. He's gonna need that eventually. Yeah, as Apex is saying in the map, one-base interceptors are not necessarily the move. Void Warrior going for Sand Skimmer damage upgrades, which I love, but I don't know if it's gonna work. He's got the resources to tech refinery mode, so I'm hoping he clicks up to that soon. Alright, interceptors are up, but like, refinery mode. Click it. You can do it. You get railguns! No! No! Honey, no! Ah. Okay, Void Warrior teching super wide on one base against RenderedSpy on 2.5 bases. Yeah, I'm not a believer. Yeah, RenderedSpy's just hanging out, getting the bag, securing the bag. Alright, Void Warrior starting to long haul off of his third base. Thank you. Thank you, Void Warrior, you're going refinery mode. A little late, but thank God, I was about to have an aneurysm. Frankly, like... And I can't be too mad because he's going for precision bombers. We're gonna see some really fun tech. I want to see bombers. I want to see bombers so bad. Yeah, like, he got railguns and then didn't build any of them. I don't like that. Like, you're getting the tech, you gotta commit to the tech. But it looks like both players settling into a macro game right now. With no rails on the field, these two AAVs right here are actually going to do a ton of damage to the space. So, I'm gonna try to see how that fight goes. These skimmers are kind of sharking around, but not really committing to anything. They could do some damage on, like, one of these fronts. They just need to pick a place to fight. They're gonna find this AAV, pull back. They could have killed it, especially at damage 2. First precision bomber hitting the field. Really needs to be over there defending, but it's gonna find the base runner. Oh, gonna go for the support cruiser. It's not gonna kill it. Gonna get its 2 bombs off and then leave. Oh, finally Void builds railguns. We got a heavy hit in the field. Yeah, criminally wide tech from Voidwarrior, but at least we see a lot of cool stuff hitting the field. Second bomber sortie, we're gonna see what he goes for this time. AAVs. Now, rendered spy techie missile batteries, he knows he's gonna need them. Big LAV follow-up coming up on the right flank. Rendered Spy's a big believer in late game LAVs. Really fun to watch. Yeah, there's no answer for this over here. They could go in and kill that railgun. I'm gonna try to look at this fight over here. Looks like Voidwarrior's gonna ward off these AAVs. They're on top of this railgun, which you don't want. And the railgun's gonna survive barely. Woo! that should not have worked out for Voidwarrior, but it did. Sense skimmers are gonna come over here, ward off the LAVs, or try. Rendered Spy kind of sees that coming. He's gonna pull back. More support cruisers coming out. Yeah, Rendered Spy has support cruiser anti-air, so this bomber play from Voidwarrior has an expiration date, unfortunately. Bomb gets dropped on the LAVs, which you don't want. Oh, that one actually worked out. Waste of bombs on LAVs, love it. A lot of heavy railguns coming out. This flank might be looking a little bit bad for Rendered Spy in a minute, because this is a lot of alpha right here. But he's pushing out on the other flank with AAVs. We're gonna see how this goes. Some scouting sand skimmers gonna find them, so we're gonna see fighting on 2 fronts at once. AAV is gonna catch the LAVs or the sand skimmers out of position. Gonna keep pushing. Sand skimmers are gonna kill that AAV. They're gonna push up, hit a logistics module. Voidwarrior sees the AAVs coming. He's gonna pull stuff off of this base. Let's see building. Heavy rails. Good, he needs those. LAVs are gonna dive on the heavy railguns. Skimmers are gonna clean them up. Yeah, if you try diving on rails before you win the Strikecraft War, this is gonna happen. Oh! Strike Fighters coming out for Rendered Spy. They're gonna try to pick off rails. Looks like the AAV push on this flank is mostly cleaned up. Forward production cruiser from Voidwarrior. Sand skimmers are picking off turrets. Gonna dive on some rails, but there's too many AAVs here. They're not gonna get them. Void Warrior got a forward production here, gonna try to put a ton of pressure on this flank. Looks like he's stabilized over here. And double tactical bombers coming out for RenderedSpy. Those are gonna do a ton of damage. What does Void have for air? No interceptors, so and building missile ships. So those bombers are actually a really good choice. Savage mid-sized fight going on over here. Looks like a lot of units from both sides are gonna get cleaned up. First bombers are coming out for RenderedSpy. And they're committing right onto that production cruiser. They might get it. Nah, it doesn't look like they're gonna get it. Yeah, you need 3 bombers to snipe a PC. Sand skimmers are gonna commit against this turret. They might get it, it's gonna be close. They do get it. Void Warrior pushing on multiple fronts now, actually doing really well. Gonna try to keep on track of all of this fighting. AAVs trading with the skims and rails over here. Alright, RenderedSpy doing what he needs to do, committing LAVs to the left flank to clean this up. They counter everything over here. Launch in air too, he probably doesn't need that over here. Would probably be more impactful on this flank, even though there is a missile ship. Bombers coming out again. Bombers are gonna get their Ls. LAVs, it looks like, are pushing this flank back a little bit. Both players just keep them pretty even right now. What's the units lost tab like? I'm not sure who's who. In terms of units lost, it's pretty even, but I think is RenderedSpy on top? Let's check next unit that dies. Any new tech? Void Warrior tech Khaaneph Siege at some point, which is interesting. That pairs well with heavy railguns. LAVs are moving in, they're gonna get a couple rails. Not many, though. See where these bombers are going. They're probably gonna hit rails. No, they're gonna hit the missile ship. Okay, bombers are great because they can pick off missile ships for free. And that leaves this third bomber, carte blanche, to pick off a rail. Now what RenderedSpy does with air is like he just chips in for little damage, picks good targets, just constantly chips in for damage that will stack up over time, and ends up getting good value out of these units. Got a big fight breaking out in mid. Skims are going to commit against the rails. Heavy railguns from Voidwarrior are going to chip in for damage against these AAVs. And RenderedSpy is going to be forced to retreat. Units lost tab starting to even up a little bit. Skimmers chipping in against the railguns. Oh, this third base from RenderedSpy looking vulnerable. Big bomber hit, though. Oh, bomber goes down to the missile ships. Support cruiser falls on the third base. No fighting over on the right side of the map. What a bloodbath. Both players keeping even and units lost. Just savage fighting on this side of the map. And really wide techs from both players. We've got air, we've got a mix of mid-tier ground units. These LAVs are going to get cleaned up. And tactical bombers coming in, they're going to get shut down by the AA squad. Oh, big fight. RenderedSpy actually able to push up, gain some ground. This production cruiser might fall, actually. So, tac bomber hit was expensive, but I think it enabled this push right here. RenderedSpy actually cleaning up a lot of units on this flank. Main base, I think, mined out for Voidwarrior. He's going to commit this carrier. RenderedSpy, I think, pushed a little bit too far, though. Oh, just a ton of units lost on both sides. So keep an eye on this timer too, because we've got 7 minutes left in the game. If Voidwarrior doesn't extract at least one artifact in that time, RenderedSpy is going to win. Tactical bomber or precision bombers are going to commit against the eco here. Wipe out this third base. It's almost a total army wipe for both players. Bomber's gonna commit onto this production cruiser. They're not gonna get it though. Third bomber will come in and finish the kill. Did it waste its bombs somewhere? Oh, that is Not what you want to see if you're rendered spy. Uh, that is uncooperative bomber. Was that a bug? That could have been a bug. RIP. Both players trying to rebuild their armies as fast as they can. Did anybody see what that bomber wasted its bomb on? We're just gonna assume best bomber intentions here. Fired when you weren't looking. No, it was hacks. Voidwarrior's hacking. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left on the clock. Voidwarrior really needs a base runner. He needs to extract an artifact yesterday. Interceptors would be really good right now, I agree. Tactical bomber coming in, chipping in for damage. Gonna kill a ton of salvagers, and this late in the game, salvager kills make a huge difference. Bombers are gonna chip in for damage. Support cruisers are gonna shut him down, though. Oh, bomber gets out. I want that bomber. Rendered Spy gonna try to extract another artifact. I think these sand skimmers are gonna try to shut it down. Drops the turret to defend. Turret's gonna drop. This base runner's not long for this world. Voidwarrior finally built a base runner. He's got 3.5 minutes to extract. I think he can do it. What are we looking like for resources right now? Base is starting to mine out. Lot of pressure on Voidwarrior right now to keep this base runner alive. Because this is going to keep him in the game. Rendered Spy slightly ahead right now just because of the artifacts. Bomber coming out. I'm expecting those to commit onto that base runner. Voidwarrior really needs to commit more defense to this. Because if this base runner goes down, there's pretty much nothing he can do. Bomber's gonna move in. One bomber goes down. Yeah, Void needs another base runner, like, right now. And he's got it. To his credit, he's got it. I think all he needs to do is pick up an artifact in the next minute at 45. Rendered Spy denies this artifact. This is a really close game. I mean, units lost, almost completely even. Alright. Base runner picks up the arty. Rendered Spy pushes in. And this carrier actually isn't powered at all, so Rendered Spy gonna get the better of this fight, probably. Yeah, this is a kill squad right here. Could probably take down this carrier. Yeah, and Void Warrior's gonna GG. He knows there's nothing he can do. Really close game, but Void Warrior kind of lost it right at the end. And damn, that was only game 1. Game 2 is gonna be on Firebase Krill. And hopefully it's a banger. We're gonna see. Void Warrior's saying the second game is just as awful. No, that was fun to watch. That was fun to watch. No, like Bozocow and Just Carrier will like roast you when they're casting, but I'm just happy to be here, man. Alright. 3-1 split from Rendered Spy. Early Sand Skimmer Fabrication coming out from Void Warrior, so he's gonna go for some early pressure. One thing I will say, Rendered Spy, your timings are a lot better than my timings. Yeah, Just Carrier, I might also be down for that, depending on how I'm feeling after casting this next series. I think it's Houston versus Frog after this. Alright, so Void Warrior starting to clean off salvagers on the second base. Bringing the Space Runner back to defend. Yeah, Salve goes down. It's not what you want if you're Rendered Spy. Yeah, it was a 7-up build. And Rendered Spy going for LAV Fab now, which is what you probably want for defense. You probably want to upgrade your carrier production too. Going AAVs, which I think this is a big mistake. You want the carrier production upgrade instead, and you want to go rails. But the base runners here can put down a turret. Spy's not entirely screwed, but he's going to have a really hard time breaking out of this position. Carrier in the turret, gonna see what they can do. Support cruiser chipping in for damage as well. Salvager will go down though. Alright, it could have been a lot worse. Void Carrier or Void Warrior bleeding a lot of Sand Skimmers though. But right now, Rendered Spy has a little bit too much just to defend on this main right here. So, best Void Warrior can hope for is kind of contain for a little while. Maybe delay the 3-base timing. Is Ref mode coming out yet? Not yet. But I have the feeling it's not far away. Heavy Railgun hitting the field for Void Warrior, though. It's gonna do well against these AAVs. Sand Skimmers can jump in and finish the kill if they want, and they do. Heavy Railgun gonna make itself felt, hit that carrier. Sand Skimmer's committing to the main here. I don't think they can do much here. I think you're probably better off fighting with the carrier in these AAVs. Skim's gonna find the base runner, though. Turret's chipping in for damage. And yeah, the Skims need to be out of here. They have no business fighting under this turret. Yeah, they probably could have committed to the turret, but the AAVs would have killed him. This is a very narrow window, and I don't think Void Warrior saw that it was open. Void Warrior pulling back a little bit. And teching refinery mode now. So it looks like we're going to have another macro game from both players. Skimmers are pushing in again. They don't want to be here. They don't want to be here. And all but one gets cleaned up. Gets one AAV. Not worth it. Units lost tab. Void Warrior, I guess, is on the bottom. Has lost 11 Skimmers. About even in terms of resources. Void Warrior, I think, might be about to pull ahead on Eco. He's pulling back with this production cruiser. I'm not sure what he'll do with it. AAV's pushing across the map. Void Warrior has all the tools he needs to counter this, he just needs to control them correctly. Going Sand Skimmer rating, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'd rather save up the resources for another tech. It's in the production tab. Okay, first AAV goes down. And more AVs coming across the map. I think they're probably going to try to scout the 3-base timing and force Void Warrior to move on multiple fronts. Heavy Railguns and Skims probably going to clean up this flank here. AAVs are already sundered, so they're going to go down. Void Warrior actually already teched Sand Skimmer damage level 1, which is going to help him. He loves those damage upgrades. I kind of like that. Making these Sand Skimmers into glass cannons. RenderedSpy built another base runner. He's going to try to extract an artifact. AAVs are chipping in for damage. They're going to get a couple salvager kills, which is good. Just keep Void Warrior on his toes. Heavy Railguns are Doing their thing, though. They're gonna ward them off, force a retreat. A lot of back and forth. Like, these players are very similarly matched. Really cool to watch. Heavy railguns are probably going to get this AAV. And they do get it. Sand Skimmers, I think, are going for the Space Runner. Void Warrior hopefully learning his lesson from the last game. We got a turret coming down. No! No turret. And this Space Runner's down. Void Warrior on kind of 2.5 base right now. Gonna get to 3 base before his opponent. No sign of a second support cruiser. Oh, there, it's on the queue now. RenderedSpy moving on to 3 base soon. So we're gonna see another macro game. I'm looking forward to it. These heavy rails are a little bit out of position. They want to be over here to help with the defense. AAV is going to see the rails and pull back. RenderedSpy going for fighter and gunship fabrication. Good choice. Sand Skimmers are going to find the AAVs, and they are already, I think, at damage level 2. So they're going to clean this up, especially after this heavy rail gets involved. No, finish the kills. They're going to do it. And now the Skims are going to collapse on the Space Runner. Good. Good. It's exactly what he needs. Yeah, RenderedSpy just bleeding base runners right now. I mean, I don't blame him for it, because that was how he ended up getting the win last game. But I think the window's closed a little bit. Void Warrior has too much on the field, too much map control. Skims are coming in to bite at this third base. This is what Void needs. Gets the salvager kill. AAV is going to ward it off. Actually, not a bad defense. Went a lot better for RenderedSpy than I expected it to go. One salvager kill is not insurmountable damage. Void Warrior has missile ships on the field. He doesn't want to get bombed again. What's RenderedSpy building? No air yet. 2 AAVs coming in on Void's third base. Forced to pull off. But I think Void has everything he needs to defend. This rail spawning into duress here. Oh, Void was really lucky to be able to save that. RenderedSpy going for tactical bombers again. I'm not sure how I feel about this. If he commits them in the right place, avoids these missile ships, they're probably a good choice. But yeah, I'm not sure. We're gonna see how it works. Units lost tab, Voidwarrior coming out a little bit ahead. So taking really good trades against these AAVs. Rail goes down over here, Skimmers wipe out the AAVs. AAVs go down over here. Voidwarrior gaining a lot of ground. RenderedSpy going for upgraded carrier production. I'm expecting we're going to see attack stack. Oh, but he canceled Tactical Bomber Fab. I wonder what the plan is. Gonna defend his third again. Voidwarrior not quite wanting to commit. Attack coming on the main, though. Skimmers are gonna get wiped out by this turret, though. And RenderedSpy's army pulling back to defend. Gonna force the retreat from Voidwarrior. Both players, I think, playing a little bit cautiously, but... And Voidwarrior using this map control, he's doing exactly what you want to do, getting an extract. No, get out. Get it out. Base runners supporting this flank. Not where it wants to be. It wants to be getting that artifact out. Come on. Come on. I'm right-clicking like crazy, but it's not going there. RenderedSpy gonna push in. I don't think he can do it. But he's gonna gain a little bit of ground. Voidwarrior pushing on two flanks right now. Kind of pushing in, pulling back, pushing in, pulling back. Just giving RenderedSpy a lot to think about. Another base runner for RenderedSpy about to go down. Just not having good luck with this game. Voidwarrior a little bit idle on this flank right here. Focusing on this one. He's got a lot of map control right now. Skims are going back in to say hi to this turret. I think, remembers it's there. And does not end up pushing in. Skimmers are gonna commit onto this third base. I'm gonna try to keep everything in frame. See how this fight goes. There's too many AAVs here. They're not going to get anything. Brutal fight, though. Skimmers take some AAVs on the fadeaway. Voidwarrior still ahead and units lost. Now the main army from RenderedSpy is going to come in, and this is a great trade for him. He's going to realize there's not much on this flank and take it out. Voidwarrior, meanwhile, committing back here. RenderedSpy not going to overcommit. Going to shift back to the left flank. But we've got a salvager kill on the main. Yeah, that's a lot of heavy rails. Second extract comes out for Voidwarrior. Good move from him. Just taking... Thing about DOK, you don't need to kill your opponent if you have better map control. Just hold territory, get extracts out, you can win the game that way. Fighting happening on multiple flanks, though. Void Warrior still coming out ahead on the trades. But Rendered Spy actually starting to even things up and push out a little bit. Void Warrior's gonna collapse, focus on the right flank. Let's see how this fight goes. Yeah, Rendered Spy sees an opening. He's gonna push in. He's got an opportunity to kill a ton of skims right here. Maybe a production cruiser. Yeah, all of a sudden, Void's out of position. This is starting to look real good for Rendered Spy. Yeah, production cruiser goes down. Heavy railgun goes down. And finally, Rendered Spy is actually ahead in the units lost tab. Void Warrior's got a good army, but suddenly being forced down to one base. Teching carrier systems for the defense. Yeah, Rendered Spy wants to make sure he fights this army right here. And we'll see how this trade goes. Void Warrior actually has the high ground here, so gonna do pretty well. But this is a kill squad here, and they're heading right for the carrier. Void's army is out of position. I hope they get back in quick. Rails are in range of the carrier now. And all of a sudden, this is looking pretty rough for Void. And did I hear correctly? Triple bomber out for Rendered Spy. A lot of unallocated power for Void Warrior. Oh, and this is all AAVs. Alright, bombers are launching. We're gonna see where they go. Ouch. And Rendered Spy about to get completely cleaned up. This bomber hit is gonna be massive, though. Oh, they're committing right onto that rail blob. Get ready for the pain! Oh, and all of these railguns go down. Does lose a bomber for it, though. 2 bombers. Rendered Spy is still ahead on Eco, building up another death ball. Units lost tab looking, relatively even. Slight edge to Void Warrior, though. Yeah, Rendered Spy, I think, pushed in a little bit too far. And just lost everything. Lost all 3 bombers in that sortie, too. There was too much AA on the field. And this is kind of like last game, but flipped. Pressure's really on Rendered Spy to get something done with the artifacts. But he's behind in units lost. So definitely fighting uphill. Good barrages coming out from Void Warrior. Look at this salvager tank in rail shops. Voidwarrior, probably doesn't have the edge in army on the field right now, but getting good map control. RenderedSpy gonna extract 2 artifacts though, which is exactly what he needs. He found a window. These skimmers are gonna find out about it though. Main base is mined out on both sides. Yeah, these base runners are gonna get cleaned up. Yeah, this is looking really good for Voidwarrior. Lot of rails on the field. There's an opportunity to kill Void's carrier, but it's a lot of high ground rails. Bomber gonna commit onto the railguns though. Good hit. Good hit. Gonna go a little bit of the way toward evening up the Unisloss tab, but it looks like Voidwarrior still has the edge. Third extract coming out from Voidwarrior. Good work from him. Big rail fight going down. Savage fighting in mid. Voidwarrior is still getting the better of these trades, though. Void kind of pushed into this corner, though. Triple extract potentially coming out from RenderedSpy. We're going to see how this goes. Yeah, Voidwarrior giving up this ground, though. I don't know if that's a good call. Bomber gonna come in. Gonna do a ton of damage, but not enough, and it dies for its trouble. Complete eco-wipe for Voidwarrior. So the win condition right now, he's got to hold on here for 3 minutes and hope that RenderedSpy doesn't extract all 3 of these. Heavy railgun's gonna start chipping in for damage. Yeah, Bozocow is right. Voidwarrior, I think, has the better army, but map control is suffering right now. He's got to find a way to get back on his bases. Sandskimmer's gonna commit on this back flank again. I don't think this is where they need to be. There's not even any resources over here to defend. Yeah, Voidwarrior needs to push. If he can get one of these base runners, he's in good shape. And that's all he needs. Voidwarrior picks off a railgun here. He needs to push. But he's got to push through this blob right here to get them. RenderedSpy actually has really good positioning right now. Yeah, the rails needed to commit here. That ain't it. Okay, the rails are committing. They're gonna do a ton of damage. But they can't push unsupported. RenderedSpy gonna even up the artifact scoreline with 40 seconds left to go. And we are gonna go into sudden death. Yeah, Voidwarrior needs to get back on his bases right now. He doesn't have an artifact win anymore. It's not in the cards. So he's got to go back to winning the War of Attrition. Still pretty even on the units lost tab. RenderedSpy does have bombers. He's got one out. He's got a second one building. And we're in sudden death. Base runner is right here. Any of these artifacts are the game-winning artifact if Void doesn't push now. He's got to clear out mid. He has no other choice. Alright, here we go. He's pushing out. RenderedSpy gonna check the base, see there's nothing there. How we doing for resources? Voidwarrior can't really build anything. He's got to take his bases back now. Void being way too passive. I think he's probably dead. Oh, big bomber hit coming out. Wipes out a ton of rails. Okay, one base runner goes down. That's better than nothing. But the rail counts are looking good for... Oh, AAV count is looking really good for RenderedSpy. Rail's terribly out of position. I think RenderedSpy just takes the game. Yeah, Void's got nothing left. And he's gonna GG. Really big mistake with the rails at the end. Got too close to those AAVs. Just really well played from Voidwarrior through this entire series. Right up until the end, I think he had everything he needed to win that game. And just got a little bit too passive. Couldn't clinch it. Alright, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.